facing, and he knew shit could get bad for him. Of course, he prayed for the best, hope for the best, and he even had a few more mishaps in between with the baby mom and all that type of shit, but he got past all that.
Like trips to prison, trips to jail, getting arrested does not look good for you. And the fact that you've had similar charges in the past and, other videos and other arrests and mugshots, it just don't look good. It looks like almost like a repeat offender.
That's domestic violence. His hands are registered. His hands are considered deadly weapons. Right. So he is going to be considered like assault with a deadly weapon as well, other than domestic violence.
Is this the beginning of the end for Gervonta Davis? With more legal trouble surrounding him, many fans are starting to ask that question. Davis has previously admitted that he needed help and even spoke openly about therapy. But now, with major fights still unfinished and his future in boxing uncertain, the spotlight has shifted away from the ring. If these issues continue, Davis could risk more than just his next fight. He could risk the legacy he worked so hard to build.
Right? So Tank is on probation for that. So this will be a violation of his probation, but he's a celebrity. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to get a slap on the wrist. He has money and stuff like that. Now, the question I have is this: what's going to happen with the Lamont Roach, rematch? Will that fight still go on? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, I don't expect Tank Davis fans to, they're going to brush it off like it ain't nothing, because that's what they do. They literally, a lot of them worship this guy. So, and I get it, I understand. However, will that fight still go on? That's probably why we haven't heard anything. I was listening to Blue Blood Sports TV, but then when I was listening to his video, guess what? I'm finna show y'all something. Now, some of y'all may say, oh, this is nothing. There's a podcaster that I watch all the time by the name of Ticket TV. I watch a lot of the big podcasters, right? I want y'all to see something. Y'all see this right here. Let me show y'all this. As you can see right here, Ticket TV is talking about this. And the title is this: Breaking News, Boxing Superstar Gervonta Tank Davis arrested for beating up women.
Professional athletes are expected to represent themselves well both inside and outside the ring. For Gervonta Davis, recent events have once again put his personal life under heavy scrutiny. Reports involving the mother of his child have sparked widespread discussion and concern. As one of boxing's biggest stars, every action is closely watched. When personal conflicts become public, they can quickly turn into major controversies, and that's exactly what's happening in this case.
Of bodily harm to her. Davis was arrested about an hour after the alleged incident and booked on a domestic violence battery charge. Jail records show he's still in police custody. Davis is scheduled to fight Hector Luis Garcia in a much anticipated boxing match on January 7th in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's not happening.
I mean,
it's not going to happen, bro. He's not going to fight.
That fight probably canceled.
The fight's going to cancel, and his sponsorship. If he's fought, you can't find him guilty right now, but I'm assuming he's going to get a great lawyer. He has money.
Do we know who the woman is? Because I saw some headlines that said baby mama. And I know what we just read it wasn't specific.
That's what I thought it said too. Yeah.
Like yesterday, right? Yeah. When the reports came out.
And that's not even just a domestic violence. His hands are registered. His hands are considered deadly weapons. Right. So he is going to be considered like assault with a deadly weapon as well, other than domestic violence.
That's facts.
And that never goes good for a boxer, ever.
For it to be domestic violence, though, one thing that Flacco taught me in Suspect was that if it says domestic violence, then that's somebody that you were in a relationship with.
You didn't know that?
No.
Over the years, Gervonta Davis has faced several off-the-ring challenges that have tested both his reputation and his career. In the past, he managed to move forward without major damage to his boxing success. But this situation feels different. Because similar issues have surfaced before, many believe authorities may take a closer look this time. Even some of Davis's biggest supporters are beginning to wonder whether his career can continue avoiding the consequences of these repeated setbacks.
This couldn't come at a worse time for Tank. Of course, he's chasing that rematch with Lamont Roach and that big money Netflix fight with Paul. And this case could potentially cancel both of these fights. For the Roach rematch, it's just kind of been assumed that this fight is happening in mid-August. Everyone has seemed to acknowledge that it's happening, yet there's been no official announcements. Why has there been no official announcement? Well, maybe they were/are waiting to see what happens with the case. They have known that this was gonna probably come out for the last month, so maybe they were either bracing for impact or hoping it could be all sorted out. But we're now about a month out from the proposed rematch, and time is running out. Every day that goes by, it looks less and less likely. And the news today certainly won't instill any hope. Even if the rematch does happen, the conditions are about as bad as they can get for Tank. In what might be the highest pressure fight of his career, he won't have a complete camp and would have legal proceedings hanging over his head. Combine this with the fact that he seemed a bit rattled and emotional after the draw, it's either a combination for a great performance or a combination for an absolute train crash.
Moments like this often become turning points in a person's life. Many people believe Gervonta Davis is now facing one of the most important chapters of his career. Challenges can help someone grow, but only if lessons are learned. Critics argue that despite previous controversies, there hasn't been enough visible change. With similar situations continuing to appear, questions are being raised about whether Davis is truly moving forward or repeating the same mistakes.
Facing, and he knew shit could get bad for him. And of course, he prayed for the best, hope for the best. And he even had a few more mishaps in between with the baby mom and all that type of shit. But he got past all that. But that shows his maturity level too, because he kept his head together through all that shit. You know what I mean? So here we at the finishing line with the trouble. I just want him to finish smart, and you know what I mean, and do what he gotta do. Get what he gotta get, you know what I mean?
The legal side of this situation is becoming increasingly serious. When someone faces similar allegations multiple times, it can affect how future cases are viewed. Legal experts often point out that past incidents can play a role when courts consider new accusations. If the evidence supports the claims being made, stricter consequences could follow. For an athlete at Davis's level, the impact could extend far beyond the courtroom, affecting everything from sponsorship deals to future opportunities in boxing.
Boxing champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been arrested and charged with battery in South Florida. Police allege the Baltimore native assaulted his ex-girlfriend during an argument on Father's Day in Doral, Florida. Davis was arrested and booked by Miami Beach police, and a judge set his bond at $10,000. This is the latest in a long line of run-ins with law enforcement for the World Boxing Association lightweight champ. In 2023, Davis pleaded guilty to 4 traffic offenses in connection with a hit-and-run that injured 4 people in Baltimore. He spent more than 6 weeks in jail after a judge found out he was serving out his home detention at the Four Seasons Hotel Baltimore and a penthouse condo in Locust Point. Davis has also previously faced allegations of domestic violence, though none of those cases against him have resulted in convictions. We have more on this story on thebaltimorebanner.com.
Gervonta Davis just got arrested for domestic violence, but this isn't the first time either. Could this have anything to do with what boxing does to your brain? Let's talk about it. So Gervonta Davis has been caught up in legal trouble and domestic violence allegations multiple times over the past few years. See, boxers take repeated hits to the head, not just during their big fights, but while they're sparring throughout training camp as well. Over time, that can cause CTE, a brain disease that messes with memory, emotions, and can cause aggression. CTE can show up in the form of slurred speech or even mood changes. So honest question for y'all is, do you think Gervonta Davis' violence outside of the ring could be linked to CTE? Is this a hidden cost of boxing? I want to hear your thoughts.